afternoon, student. Today we will see double fertilization and triple fusion. Here double fertilization means double means two time fertilization. Fertilization means there is a fusion of male and female gamete with their pronuclei. Pronuclei means, for example, in case of human, this one female gamete, that is the egg, consists of haploid nucleus, and this one male gamete, that is a male, consists of haploid nucleus. Now if this is a female gamete and male gamete come close with each other and adhere with each other like this is not fertilization. In next step, if the sperm get enter inside this ovum, again this is not a fertilization. If the head of the sperm release nucleus in the cytoplasm of that ovum or secondary oocyte, and this one is the haploid nucleus of female gamete, egg. If two nucleus come close with each other, still it is not fertilization. Now if in this case, if male gamete pronuclei and female gamete pronuclei, this one, they adhere with each other, still it is not a fertilization. Then what is fertilization? When the male, this one male gamete and this one female gamete fuses with their pronuclei. When their pronuclei, this one is the female pronuclei, this one is the male haploid pronuclei. When this haploid and haploid, these pronuclei fuse to form one diploid, like this a nucleus, then we call it as a fertilization. Means here fusion of male and female gamete with their pronuclei, then we call it as a fertilization. Same type of fertilization which is carried out in case of human, same such a type of fertilization get carried out. Means same, the fusion of these both male and female gamete, they takes place here in case of these angiospermic plant. So here, what is fertilization then in case of this angiospermic plant? Fusion of male and female gamete. These are the male gamete, and there is a fusion of this male and with this female gamete with their pronuclei, then we call it as a fertilization, which result into syngamy, which result into primary endosperm nucleus, and it forms a diploid zygote and triploid primary endosperm nucleus. We call it as a fertilization in case of angiosperm. Now this fertilization, all these events get carried out in this structure, and this structure which is drawn here, this structure is nothing but pistil, or we call it as a gynoecium. Gynoecium, it consists of a stigma, it consists of a style, and it consists of this structure we call it as a ovary. Inside the ovary, like this structure is present, that structure we call it as a ovule. And in the ovule, in the middle, there is a structure which is present, that structure we call it as an embryo sac. Because in this embryo sac, after fertilization from this egg, embryo formation takes place. Due to which we call this sac as an embryo sac. In this embryo sac, towards this one end, we call it as a micropylar end. Towards the micropylar end, here one apparatus is present, we call it as the egg apparatus. This one is the egg apparatus, this one is the egg. surrounds with the two synergid. This egg and two synergid, we call it as egg apparatus. Opposite to this egg apparatus, towards this end, opposite to micropylar end, chaliceal end is present, and towards the chaliceal end 1, 2, 3, like these three antipodal cells are present. 1, 2, 3, like these three antipodal cells are present. And in the middle of this embryo sac, there is a big cell which is present. In that big cell, like these are two polar nuclei are present. One nuclei come from one pole and another nuclei come from another pole at the time of what? That embryo sac formation process, due to which these are two nuclei, we call it as a polar nuclei. Now this embryo sac surrounded by the tissue, that tissue which are nutritive in nature, these are tissues, we call it as a nucellus. What is it? Nucellus. And this nucellus surrounded with these are two coverings, we call it as integument. After fertilization, integument get they converted into seed coat. Like these ovules are present inside the ovary, which get attached here with the fertile tissue to the ovary wall. We call it as a placenta. So like this inverted ovule which is drawn in this diagram, such inverted ovule we call it as an anatropous ovule, which is present here. And this structure we call it as a pistil, or we call it as what? Gynoecium. Now by the process of pollination, pollen grain get adhere here, and the pollen grain, as soon as adhere here, that pollen grain get detected by these stigma. Stigma has a capacity to detect compatible and non-compatible pollen grain. So the compatible pollen grain get detected by the stigma, and stigma release the chemical, and due to that chemicals, these pollen grain get guided to release to come out. This is the structure, we call it as what? Pollen grain. From the pollen grain, tube-like structure get emerge out. We call it as a tube. That tube we call it as a pollen tube. Means this stigma play important role. This stigma is full of water. It is full of what? Sugary material. So this pollen grain absorb water and sugary material, due to which the size of that pollen grain get increased, and due to that excess water which is present inside the pollen grain, it exerts a pressure on the inner wall of that pollen grain, we call it as a intine, and due to that pressure we call it as a hydrostatic pressure. This intine wall, it comes out and forms one tube like structure. That tube we call it as a pollen tube. What is it? We call it as a pollen tube, like this. And is a pollen tube guided to move forward through the stylar tissue, is carried out in the influence of one chemical which is released by this stigma. That chemical we call it as this one, chemocyanin. And due to this chemocyanin, this pollen tube get guided to pierce this stylar tissue and move forward, and ultimately it reach up to this ovarian wall, this one, and through the ovarian wall it again pierces through this ovarian wall tissue, and it move forward like this. This movement of pollen grain through the stylar tissue due to the chemicals, we call it as chemotropism. What is it? Chemotropism. That a chemical guide to move that pollen grain from the stylar tissue. Now this pollen tube it move, and ultimately this pollen tube it reach up to this micropyle. How this pollen tube know that micropyle is present towards this side? What is the reason behind it? Why the pollen tube generally in case of angiospermic plant enters throughout that micropyle? The answer is, here is the egg, and this egg surrounds with these two, like these are two synergids. Now these are two synergids, they are supportive in nature, and out of these two synergids, one synergid is compatible. In that synergids, excess water is present, sugar is present, and in that reserve food material is present. In this synergid which is compatible, that synergids release the chemical, and the chemical which is released by the compatible synergid, that chemical then sprayed here, they come out through the micropyle and sprayed through this ovarian wall like this, and through this stylar tissue, and guide this pollen tube guide this pollen tube to move through the ovarian wall and guide this pollen tube to come up to this micropyle. These chemotropism get carried out. These PME, that chemical we call it as a pectin methylosteresis, and due to which these pollen tube now it move forward. Now due to this chemosynthesis process, chemotropism process, this pollen tube it move and it reach to the micropyle, and then it enters through the micropyle because the concentration of that PME get increase here, and it is the pollen tube get guided by that chemicals, and ultimately this pollen tube now enters through this small pore. That small pore we call it as a micropyle, and now this pollen tube it enters in one of the compatible these synergids by piercing this nucellar tissue. This is a synergid which is compatible, in which more sugar is present, more water is present, and which consists of reserve food material also. These pollen tube enter in that synergids. When this pollen tube enter in that synergids, in the synergids like this structure is present, a finger-like structure is present, and these finger-like structures we call it as filiform apparatus. What is it? Filiform apparatus. So these are filiform apparatus. See here, if we draw these egg apparatus separately here, this one is the egg, and this one is one synergid, and this one is another synergids. In the synergids, like finger-like structures are present, and these structures we call it as filiform apparatus. The main function of these filiform apparatus, which is present in the cytoplasm of these synergids, is to guide the pollen tube to enter into the synergids. As soon as the pollen tube enter into the synergids, the two male gametes which is present here in this pollen tube, these are the two male gamete, and beside this, there is a tube nucleus which is present. Tube nucleus. These all material. Which one? Two male gametes and these are tube nucleus. These are structure. It move forward like this. It move forward and comes here. This structure move forward and they come here. Now see here. When the pollen tube formation takes place, when the pollen tube grow like this, at that time, no doubt that water get absorbed from this stigma. But in this pollen tube, the water which is get absorbed from this stigma, it comes here in this pollen tube. And when the pollen tube increase in the size, at that time the cytoplasm also move forward like this. This cytoplasm carry these two male gametes, because these two male gametes are stationary in nature. They are not motile. So there is a need to carry these two male gametes, and these two male gametes carried by the cytoplasm which is present here in this pollen tube. When this pollen tube increase in the size, at that time in the pollen tube, such a structures formation takes place. Like these structures formation takes place. Like these structures formation takes place like this. And these structures made up of a callus, and this structure form a plug. That plug we call it as a callus plug. When the callus plug formation takes place, the cytoplasm which is present here in the tip, that cytoplasm, it remains as it is, and it carry these two male gametes forward like this. And ultimately these two male gametes then reach here into these synergids along with the tube nucleus. Now these tube nucleus, it get degenerate or dissolve when it enter into these synergids. Now as soon as these pollen tube enter into these one of the synergids, these pollen tube absorb excess water from these synergids. When it absorb excess water from these synergids, nucleus dissolve, and the cell wall disintegrate or degenerate, and these support to cell, that is we call it as a synergids, that cell get degenerate. As soon as this cell get degenerate, and from that cell these pollen tube absorb excess water, due to which these pollen tube now increase in size. The pollen tube increase in size like this. At the tip of the pollen tube, here small opening, micro opening is also present. Now these cytoplasm move forward like this. Again here one callose plug formation takes place, and cytoplasm retain here only. Now from these synergids, more excess water get absorbed by this pollen tube. It increase in the size, due to which again here it exert a pressure. That pressure we call it as hydrostatic pressure, and due to that pressure this pollen tube it get burst. And when this pollen tube get burst like this, the cytoplasm which is present in this pollen tube, the cytoplasm get a release in this big cell. That cell we call it as a central cell. And when cytoplasm release in this big cell, along with the cytoplasm these two male gamete, they comes here, they also release here in this big cell known as a central cell. Now this pollen tube when enters through this micropyle, such entry of pollen tube through the micropyle we call it as a porogamy. When the pollen tube enters through the micropyle, we call it as a porogamy, which is carried out in case of lily plant. There are some plant, they show second type of entry of pollen grain. We call it as a mesogamy. That a pollen tube, it do not enter through this micropyle, rather than it enters directly through this integument. When the pollen tube directly enters through the integument rather than this micropyle, then we call it as a mesogamy. It is carried out in case of cucurbita, in case of these populus, and in case of these Achimela. And there are some examples in the nature in which that pollen tube directly enters through the chaliza. That a pollen tube directly enters through the chaliza like this. This pollen tube directly enters through the chaliza, and it comes into these this sac, we call it as an embryo sac, and release like these are two male gamete. If the pollen tube enters through the chaliza, we call it as a chalizogamy. Carried out in case of Betula and carried out in case of this Casuarina. What it may be, generally in majority of angiospermic plant, pollen tube generally it enters through these micropyle, and these process get carried out in the influence of the chemical. We call it as a chemotropism. What is it? Chemotropism. Now, how double fertilization takes place, we will see here. Now, two male gamete get released here in these embryo sac. Now, out of these two male gamete, one male gamete, out of these two male gamete, one male gamete move towards the egg, and another male gamete move towards these polar nuclei, and it is carried out with the help of cytoplasm. Now these one male gamete move towards the egg, and another male gamete it move towards the polar nuclei. These movement takes simultaneously, means this movement take at one time. Simultaneously this movement takes place. Out of these two male nuclei, one male nuclei it come here, it move towards the egg, it enter inside the egg like this here. One male gamete enter inside the egg, and the nucleus of one male gamete and the nucleus of this egg come close with each other, and there is a fusion of these male and female pronuclei, and it forms one like this nucleus. We call it as diploid nucleus, haploid nucleus of a male gamete and haploid nucleus of female gamete. It forms a diploid nucleus, and this structure we call it as a zygote. We call it as what? Zygote. This structure we call it as a zygote. After fertilization, this zygote get transformed into embryo like this. Now, out of these two male gamete, one male gamete fuses with this egg, and a diploid zygote formation takes place. The fusion of male gamete and fusion of female gamete, fusion of male gamete and fusion of female gamete, which takes place here. These are both gamete when fused with each other. This is a fusion of these two gametes. We call it as a syngamy, which is this is a syngamy process, detailed studied by one scientist known as Starsberger. Now, out of these two male gamete, one male gamete fuses with the egg, and diploid zygote formation takes place. This one is a first fertilization. What is it? First fertilization. This one is the first fertilization. Now, out of these two male gamete, one fuses with the egg, and this is a second male gamete. This one, this is a second male gamete. Now it move towards these polar nuclei. Now, when it comes here to up to these polar nuclei, these are two polar nuclei. They come close with each other, and these are two polar nuclei. They fuse and forms one nuclei like this. And these are polar nuclei. Now N plus N, it forms a 2N. And now these are polar nuclei. These are polar nuclei. We call it as secondary nuclei. Now we call it as a secondary nucleus. Now these are polar nuclei. When it fuse with each other, now that these are nucleus, we call it as a secondary nucleus. Cell remain as it is, that is a central cell. But out of these are two male gamete, one fuses with the egg and second is one. It comes closer to these secondary nucleus. Now these second male gamete get fuses with these secondary nuclei here and forms N plus N plus N. See here, two polar nuclei and this one third male gamete. 1, 2, 3, N plus N plus N forms a 3N. Forms a 3N. These are three nucleus. 1, 2, 3 nucleus. They fuse with each other here in the center. And these are three nucleus when fuse here in this central cell, then we call it as a triple. We call it as a triple fusion. We call it as what? Triple fusion. And this fertilization, we call it as a second fertilization. What is it? Second fertilization. First fertilization, one male gamete fuses with the egg. We call it as a syngamy. Egg also called as a oosphere. That oosphere pronuclei fuse with one stationary male gamete. Fuse with one stationary male gamete and forms a diploid zygote. And forms here, these are diploid zygote. That structure now we call it as oospore. Now this structure we call it as oospore. Previously this structure we call it as a oosphere. After fertilization we call it as a oospore. Such events takes place in the first fertilization. Here in this first fertilization. This first fertilization here. And in second fertilization here, triple fusion takes place. Means the polar nuclei fuse. These are two polar nuclei. Two polar nuclei fuse. And when it gets fused, forms what? Secondary nuclei. Now this structure we call it as a secondary nuclei or secondary nucleus. Now this is a male gamete. This is a male gamete. Second male gamete fuse with the second male gamete. Means this structure fuse with the second male gamete. And when it fuse with the second male gamete, now this structure we call it as a 3N. This structure we call it as a PEN. Now this structure we call it as a PEN. Means a primary endosperm nucleus. Now this structure get transformed into primary endosperm nucleus. See here. Secondary nuclei when fused with the second male gamete, it forms a primary endosperm nucleus. Now the central cell which is there, this is a central cell. This is a big cell. We call it as a central cell. But now the three nucleus fuse here, forms a triple fusion. After triple fusion, now this is a central cell. We call it as a PEC. PEC means that is a primary endosperm cell. Now this one is the primary endosperm cell, consists of 3N, and this cell undergoes in mitotic cell division, divide and redivide, and it forms endosperm. It forms what? Endosperm. Endosperm formation takes place here. We will see these endosperm details in next video. So here one phenomena we call it as a siphonogyny carried out in case of this process. The non-motile gametes which is present, these are two male gametes which is present here in this pollen tube. They are non-motile. That non-motile gametes transported by the cytoplasm here, you get transported by the cytoplasm, and ultimately here like this double fertilization process get carried out. We call it as a siphonogyny. We call it as what? Siphonogyny. Now what is double fertilization? Double means two. In case of the angiospermic plant, fertilization takes place 2 times. One male gamete fuses with the egg, that is the first fertilization, and another male gamete fuses with these polar nuclei and forms primary endosperm nucleus, that is a second fertilization. In one plant, in one gynoecium, in one ovule, in embryo sac, 2 times fertilization takes place. First fertilization, second fertilization. We call it as double fertilization. And triple fusion. Triple fusion means here in these embryo sac, one nuclei from one pole, second nuclei from another pole, and one male gamete. These are 1, 2, 3 nuclei, they fuse with each other, and this fusion we call it as a triple fusion. What is it? Triple fusion. In this way, the double fertilization and triple fusion carried out in case of what? Angiospermic plant. Now students, see here how the NEET construct the questions. See here, function of filiform apparatus is to, number 1, recognize the suitable pollen at stigma. Number 2, stimulate division of generative cell. Number 3, produce a nectar. Number 4, guide the entry of pollen tube. Function of filiform apparatus is. The function of this filiform apparatus is. What they ask? What is the function of filiform apparatus? Is it recognize the suitable pollen at stigma? No. Is it stimulate the division of generative cell? No. Is it produce a nectar? No. Then what is the answer? It guide the entry of what? Pollen tube. This is a filiform apparatus. It guide the entry of what? This is a pollen tube. Now next question generally asked in the NEET exam. The first question, the first question, it is asked in 2014. The second question, see here, how many cells remain functional after fertilization in embryo sac? After fertilization, how many cells are remain functional in this embryo sac? How many cells? This one bigger cell, central cell remain functional, and this one egg, it remain functional. Both synergid, they dissolve. This antipodal cell after fertilization also get dissolved. Means this bigger cell and these egg cells remain functional. Next question, how many nucleus actually take part in the process of fertilization? How many nucleus? See here, these are the 2 male gametes. It consists of these 2 nucleus. Here 2 polar nuclei and this 1 nucleus. 1, 2, 3 nucleus, and this nucleus and this nucleus. 1, 2, 3, and this one with this. This one with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nucleus actually take part in the process of what? Fertilization. So dear student, if you understand this all these concept, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.